Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 1st, 2026. But no matter when this reading finds you and you click into it, especially if you felt called to it, there's something that is trying to be unveiled for you. But if you want to check out the timestamp below, you're more than welcome to go ahead and dive into the reading. And while I get the rest of the intro out of the way, if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Thank you for making it another trip around the world with us today. Always here on Mystic Frequency, I want my listeners to know that they matter and they do deserve to celebrate. You deserve to celebrate every day. And secondly, leading into my disclaimers, I cannot give professional advice, but I can give personal experiences if I feel there is something that is coming through from what the guides are revealing, or even just the guides' advice itself is what is being given today. That doesn't mean that this is the only thing you should follow. The wheel is always in your hands. So remember what door is revealed today, or what path, what obstacle, what challenge, what relationship, whatever the case may be. This is not the only thing for you to do. You know your circumstances a lot better than I do. You know what situations you are going through and know what the best option is ultimately. This is just showing you, especially when you're at a crossroad. But let's go ahead and dive into your affirmation for today. So we have, I am fulfilled. There's a sense of needing to meet your maximum potential here, where your guides are coming through and they want you to see that you have potential to have whatever you want in your life, whether it be in your relationships, whether it be in your work environment, or even just your personal spirit development. You have the potential to fulfill that for yourself. And there are things around you that are allowing you to see that you are. Whenever I was thinking about another way to talk about feeling fulfilled, this could also mean that you have brought something to an end, or you have converted something into reality. And now you are feeling like, okay, yes, finally my cup is at the peak where it needs to be, where I feel successful, I feel confident, and I feel as if I can take a breath here. But your guides want you to feel fulfilled today. Find ways to maximize your potential. Your self-care oracle or self-love, chin up, buttercup, you're gorgeous. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a female in order to feel gorgeous, but really step into that feeling of, I feel attractive. And because I feel attractive, I attract a lot of opportunities into my life where I feel good about the way I look. I feel good the way I dress. I just feel good, and I want to keep my head up. I want to make sure that I don't miss opportunities. Now today, whenever I rolled my dice, Scorpio came through today. So let me go ahead and talk about some of this Scorpio energy that is kind of coming to play. So a lot of intensity. Something is being exposed, and there may even be a purging, or even a sense of renewal is coming through. And with today being the full moon, or the snow moon for February 1st, this is a great time to really think about what needs to be purified in your life. I actually have a video that has been released on my channel. You are more than welcome to dive into it. It's a pick-a-pile, and it talks about ways this moon is going to help you purify something in your life, or just think about the internal and external actions that you need to bridge together in order to flow more better in life. But Scorpio energy it's all about trusting your intuition, even when your emotions feel very intense. And this can even talk about things that may taboo to you, that you may have been holding off on or not even exploring, because Scorpio energy, they dive into things that most people wouldn't, or other astrology signs wouldn't normally tap into. But these creatures are they're very driven. They care a lot about being able to be in this balanced state of where they submit to whatever it is that they are feeling, or they find themselves that whatever they're feeling is starting to dominate them. But, and I may have said that where it meant the same thing, but where they're being very submissive to other people's feelings versus wanting to dominate another person's emotions. And so the shadow side for the Scorpio energy coming through is, think about when you are really defensive, what causes you to be at a state where you need to set your boundaries up. Think about times when you may have felt manipulative or people have tried to manipulate you. And then when they did those types of actions, were you vengeful? Were you trying to get an eye for an eye? Or were there a lot of secrets that were being played here? But Scorpio has this ability to tap into very distant memories. And it's like, think of coffee that is brewing or percolating. It's on the stove, it's cooking, and then eventually it will make this sound, especially if you have an old-timey coffee pot, and it would whistle. And that's when, your attention is no longer in the room. It is, or not in the room, but your attention is now thinking about what is whistling in your mind. And you may feel as if you are this emotional sponge. And once you fill up this sponge and it has all this liquid, all these emotions, all of these memories, all of these things that have occurred up until recently, at some point, you're going to need to take that sponge and squeeze it out because you can no longer take anything in. This is a great card to be coming out, especially during this moon, because this is like taking that sponge and figuring out what needs to be purified, what needs to be released, and what are you trying to bring in? What are you trying to manifest? There is transformative energy here, and it's wanting you to expose anything that might be dysfunctional in your life or even toxic and let yourself explore thoughts, especially the ones that have been percolating and making those whistles, and habits, and try to discern what are yours, or what are some things that you have picked up that you have seen in others, being that sponge. So think of your parents. What do you do that is very similar to what your parents would do when they are under stress, or when they find that their emotions start to go over the brim? But now's a great time to look and see what is more relevant to you. If I can speak, what relationships are relevant to you? Think about work, your belief systems, anything that should stay within this sponge will stay. If it doesn't need to stay, it's either going to clog a pore, or you're going to have to just release it. And Scorpios, they have to hold identity loosely in order to be able to transform and change their concepts, or concept of self, or the structure that is shaping their world around them. So I am fulfilled. Scorpio energy is coming in and finding ways for you to transform, release, renew, purge, let go of something that does not serve your highest good. And think about where your power is being held. Are you holding the power in your own hands, or does someone else hold the power? And how can you Find healthy ways not to manipulate situations or try to control situations in order to obtain this level of fulfillment, but rather going with the flow and checking in on a routine basis and thinking about, okay, when I find that I'm at this state where I can't take in anymore and everything is just too intense for me, what do I need to release here? But that's a little bit about there. Let's go ahead and look at your animal guides. They're going to be helping with this energy right here. So we have dragonfly, magic. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. You are brilliant and blessed. And when those memories start to surface, or you start to think about how someone really wronged you or stabbed you in the back or just took advantage of you, and it's keeping you stuck, where all you can think about is, are more people going to do that for me? Are more people going to sting me? And so you're starting to feel very defensive and you want to protect your shell that you have on the outside. And your guides are wanting you to allow yourself to transform past this, past your memories, past things that may have surfaced or percolated, and find ways to see that even though there are these things that have occurred, you are still blessed. These people that came into your life, even though they may have been very negative, it's a blessing they did come in, because now you understand how you want to be treated, what the structure of your temple, your tower, your home, whatever the case may be. You know what you want that to look like and who is allowed to stand within this structure with you. And if they are in any way a negative role model, then you know that they have no place. They can't make this structure stronger. So release them. Release that part. Then we have tiger coming into play, which is fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. My passion is my power. And you are not letting this hold you back. You're not trying to let this hold you back. What you're trying to do is find ways to bring in support, especially because Scorpio reminds me of death. It does have that rebirth kind of energy coming through, where something is ending, something that was very intense, and now we're not going to let this ending prevent us from moving forward. But let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards for today. And I'm going to go ahead and move these kind of like down here. So we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And so there's this at the focus right now. There's been a lot of struggle working towards a goal. There's been relentless challenges with constant setbacks after setbacks. And you're at a point where coping is becoming very difficult. And you want to give up. But your guides are wanting you to see that you are so close to completing this phase in your life, this transformation you are going through. You are this close to finalizing it. And it may seem as if everyone is taking their shot at you while you are in this forest, while you are trying to recover, while you are out in nature. You don't necessarily have to be in nature, but you're trying to ground yourself with that resilience in order to get back up and then return to society, return to where you need to be. Because right now your boundaries are up and you may even be seeing red here, because I have the Scorpio coming in is like, another person, if they actually hit me, it's not going to look good, is what I'm feeling. But your guides want you to know that you are almost exactly where you need to be. And if you need something to keep you going so that way you can finish this, really dive deep into your resilient resources that you've had. Think about past experiences where when you have noticed when you were resilient, you were able to reach that milestone, that end goal, and it felt good. You felt fulfilled. And tap into the inner courage that you have, that inner lion, and use positive self-talk for your mindset. Think about how your mind and your thoughts are, and I know I keep saying percolating, but I really like that word for this today. But think about how your thoughts are percolating in your mind. What is whistling? What is your thoughts versus someone else's thoughts? What are you thinking is rummaging through your head? And it makes me think of somebody that may get to a point where they're starting to feel very paranoid. I can't even speak today, guys. So where you have a sense of paranoia starting to come in because we have these wands, it's like one thing after another keeps happening to me. Why do I keep seeing these setbacks? Why can't I just be able to go with the flow? Why can't I just do what it is that I need to do? And your guides are wanting you to focus on your own game and not worry about what other people are saying or what other people are doing. People are probably comparing themselves, and they may even feel like as if they are projecting themselves onto you. And you are taking that very, very close to heart. I will say that. You're taking it close to heart, and it's like a personal attack here, but your guides are wanting you to separate those people from your structure so you can focus on your own journey and your own transformation here. And like I said, focus on how you are talking to yourself. If you would not think about how you would talk to a friend, if you would not talk to them the way that you talk to yourself, then you need to be your own friend here. The friend that gets you through this forest. And you may have even felt as if it's just been nothing but all work. There's been no play. There's been no relief. And yes, this is a temporary setback. And your guides are wanting you to actually see that you've already have all these tasks and these commitments that you are pursuing. They want you to stay focused on those commitments only and to not take on anymore. So if you have people coming in and they are trying to put more onto your plate or bring their burdens, their worries to your sponge and add to your sponge, then cut that off, separate from it, separate from those people. They need to understand that you can't always be the sponge for them. They have their own cup. They have their own sponge. They have their own purging and releasing that they need to do themselves. But right now at the focus, you need to stay focused and committed on the goal that you are trying to achieve in this focus, this mindset that you are in, because you're almost there. And the confirmation that I pulled for this is a new start is coming. You may even want to, underneath this full moon, or whenever a full moon is near you, go ahead, manifest what you have planted, whatever you have sowed. And then in this new moon, think about what intentions you're wanting to plant and then sow for the next moon to manifest. But a new start is coming for you. There is going to be reprieve here. As long as you can keep your mind positive, keeping your chin up, and noticing that you are unstoppable, that you are going through this transformation, you are courageous, and you can do this by just letting go of the setbacks, letting go of the past, letting go of everything that has just come to this moment. So that way you can sit here and just breathe and see if there's anything that you need to release, turn into support, if there is support that is around you that is healthy. At the heart of the matter, we have the Hanged Man. Your heart is trying to tell you to pause. And it needs to pause right now. Because what got you here is not going to get you there. You need to release old mental models and behavior patterns that do not serve you. Think about how when you needed a release, when you had a breakdown, or things finally got to you and you snapped, took the arrow and actually snapped the arrow in half. So you no longer had a sense of direction, and you started to sting and lash out on whoever, whatever may have been around you. You may have stopped your progress altogether and said, this isn't for me, I'm done with this. And your heart is telling you, you need to pause. Because there's a habit here. There's this behavioral pattern that you find yourself in when things become too much. And they want you to see if there is a different way for you to react, if you would. There is, and this is making me think of a story. And I thought about this story yesterday, actually, before Scorpio came out today. And whenever I was struggling a lot with anxiety in my early 20s, especially after I had had my daughter Emberly, and I was having a hard time coming to a grounded state with my thoughts and with my relationships, and everything was just very sensitive for me. And I remember reading a story about a scorpion and a frog that needed to cross a stream. They both needed to go the same exact way. And the scorpion didn't know how to swim, but the frog did. And at first, but the frog was worried about predators coming in and swooping and eating the frog. So it needed some form of defense. And the scorpion said, well, let me ride on your back and then we can swim across the shore and I can protect you because I really need to get to the other side because that's where I need to be. And the frog said, well, isn't it within your own nature to sting others? And the scorpion said, yes, it is within my nature and to sting another, but I can control my actions if I choose. So think about your behavioral patterns that you may have where your immediate reaction is to lash out or sting another, or how others around you may be like that. Really pause and think about those relationships that you have. And anytime you are out of alignment with your intuition, with the Hanged Man, and you are refraining from giving yourself a break or a pause, the universe will put things on hold for you. And that is why you see these red flags, these setbacks, these stoplights, these rocks in the road. It happens because right now you have a lot that you are committed to and you need a bit of reprieve so that way you can release, pour the sponge out. Your head is in the water, literally. And you were so close to suffocating yourself at this point that if you do not pause and change how you are, where your mind is, how you are sitting, how you are, walking in life, you're going to drown yourself here. And that is why there is a pause. And so think about the continued obstacles that keep appearing. Or if you've had, it's like you get sick and then you think, okay, I'm done being sick. And then you get back at it again. And then you get sick immediately. And you're like, or you get a cold and then you get the stomach bug. And then you get over the stomach bug. And then you get a cold again. It's like there's a reason why all of that happens. You need to pay attention. Or the universe will turn the volume up until you do pay attention. This is a time to reassess and reevaluate. And if you are looking at the routines that you have, whatever routine you currently have that is not serving you, that is a routine you need to step away from so that way you can see what fresh perspective this Hanged Man is trying to show you that you wouldn't have seen if you had just kept grinding at whatever task you were grinding at. And so go ahead and allow yourself to let these projects or these activities, or even, because this is talking about the heart center, if you are trying to really deepen your relationships or even go out and pursue a relationship, you need to kind of put that to the side And think about ways that you are still currently stuck or restricted. This could even talk about someone that hasn't moved on from a loved one, someone who's still hung up. And even though you may want to start a relationship, you have all of these signs, these roadblocks. It's like, hey, do you want to go hang out? I've got plans this weekend. Or, hey, do you want to go do this? And then it says, yeah, and then it doesn't fall through. There's a reason why, because there's some healing here that needs to happen. And you need to reevaluate, especially if you are single. You need to reevaluate what you are looking for in a partner, where you can ground and reconnect to the vision of what you want to attract. Because right now you're not attracting anything, but it feels like something that is very sensitive and not good for you. I had to flip it upside down, guys, because it feels like, whatever got you to this point where you are the hanged man and pausing and reflecting and but right now you're needing to surrender and let go. Surrender and let go and see if you can gain a different perspective here. If you are in an established relationship, you may want to start spending some time alone to figure out what it is that you want or where you want the relationship to go. And if this is something that you feel as if you can be committed to. But I will say at the focus of this, it's like you've had every wall fire put up. Someone may have been really hard to navigate through or even be able to get close to, which makes sense with Scorpio energy. But if this person has been stung more than once in their life, they're not just going to let anyone come into their life. They're going to have these barriers up, and you have to be willing to pause and let them let their own guards down, or let their own guard down. But I also feel as if this is you with your own guard up and just you're expecting the worst of the situation here, that's where the hanged man is coming in and saying you need to really think about how you are allowing yourself to sit in your thoughts. Because if you think this relationship is going to go south, it will go south. If you are going to feed, it's like that rabbit mind where the rabbit gives the eagle the idea to eat the rabbit. It's like, oh, I'm going to get eaten one day. If I'm out here, the eagle's just going to eat me if I'm here. And it just keeps repeating over and over again. So yeah, that's going to happen when you feed that cycle. And then when it finally comes, like when it finally hits the fan, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you intentionally push people away in that sort of sense. But for this is nothing is yet set in stone. And whatever you have been working on, you have to be willing to stay committed to it, whatever the focus may be. And if you're trying to make like in your relationship world, whatever the case may be, this could even be talking about work relationships, but don't hold your breath for something that is not set in stone. Wait till it is actually finalized. Wait till you actually see that it is a yes. And then you will know, okay, I no longer have to keep waiting on. I don't have to keep holding on. Subconsciously, we have the Three of Wands here. And your guides are wanting you to see how your mind has been coming through, especially into your dreams. And they're wanting you to maximize your potential here and allow you to expand your strategy when it comes to what you are focused on, because this may need a different strategy. Have you been in the woods too long? Do you need to leave the woods so that way you can see that the arrows that were shot were probably the ones that you shot yourself, since they are red? Or are you wearing the target on your back that says, I allow for people to treat me like this? But the Three of Wands is trying to tell you there has been many chances, many opportunities that have been presented for you, but you are not looking at the ones that are there. You're only focused on the one thing, and they're trying to say you need to look at ways that you can develop your mind, where you can study more, where you can learn more, you can expand your knowledge. Think about if you do want to travel or even have your own business, or if you just want to explore yourself more. And that may be why the Hanged Man is coming in, is because there's this need to want to explore more aspects of yourself, because you are trying to release yourself from something that has been kept you on this pole, and realize that if you were to jump into another relationship, it would be almost like it would be the same thing over and over again. And that's probably what you're trying to hold out for, what you're holding out for right now. Holding out on a good career, holding out on a good relationship, because you're wanting to expand yourself. You want someone who wants to expand themselves just as well. And you want someone to be just as committed to the path that you are on, and that they are committed to the path that they are on. And so allow yourself to be prepared to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Pay attention to the changes and challenges that may lie ahead, because the Three of Wands shows that you can see that there are obstacles ahead. And if you know there are only 9 obstacles, focus on the one that is in front of you. Focus on that one alone. And then once you cross the bridge to the next obstacle, then you will know what to do with it, because you are in the Hanged Man. Your heart is allowing you to pause, retreat, release, gain perspective, then pick yourself up, and then keep going at it again. But allow yourself to prepare in this moment. And then we have a win-win outcome is in the forecast. Love it. Love it. So, my dears, I know this was a lengthy reading, but I just wanted to make sure that I got a really good message out there for my collective, because I felt like something was stewing here. Something was stewing for my dears, and I want y'all to give yourself permission to release, to think about your patterns and habits that you may have. Think about the Scorpion. Do you want to be able to trust a Scorpion that will ride on your back and not sting you, and actually say what it is they mean to say, and they make it to the other side? Or are you going to continue to live your life in fear, especially from meeting new people? I have a charm in my basket that has an actual Scorpion, and it says friend on it. Sometimes you will find friends in the most unlikeliest places. And I did think of Winnie the Pooh whenever I seen the 9 of Wands with Christopher Robin being in the forest. And Eeyore, thinking of Eeyore. I heard a lot of Eeyore in my head, like, oh, that's just too bad. Nothing's ever gonna work. Find ways to not be Eeyore here. But while you were pausing and you were thinking about the benefits of taking this reprieve, once you find it, allow yourself to step out, because nothing is set in stone. You have to be able to finish this goal, this commitment you have. But I'm going to go ahead and end here, my dears. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates. And if you know anybody that would benefit from this energy or this revealing, please share. Sharing is caring. But I'm heading out.